The ESPNcricinfo Awards for 2010 move on to honor the best performances in one-day internationals, and we'll start with the best batting performances of the year. Once again, this was the set of nominees presented to the jury. This is what they deliberated upon, and there were some seriously good performances there. Sachin Tendulkar made 200 against South Africa in the second one-day international at Gwalior. It was a mark that some thought would never be breached. Abdul Razak played a sensational innings of 109 not out against South Africa at Abu Dhabi. That was one of their home games, which they needed to play in Abu Dhabi. Angelo Matthews, fast rising in the world, 77 not out versus Australia at Melbourne. Sri Lanka played well in that series. Then Shahid Afridi at Dambulla scored 109 against Sri Lanka in the first one-day international. And Owen Morgan, fast rising up the charts as well, 103 not out versus Australia in the first one-day international of that series in Southampton. But the winner, and I guess just for the sheer magnitude of what was achieved, was Sachin Tendulkar's double century in one-day international cricket. And Sanjay Manjrekar has seen a lot of Tendulkar over the years. Did you, first of all, think 200 was a mark no one would get to in a one-day game?
No, I thought it was about time that would happen because people came so close to it. And it was just a matter of time. And that test match, I beg your pardon, the one-day, the batting conditions were just perfect. And just the way India started off, you could see it was almost impossible to stop the runs. So even if you bowled a good line, you had the field set, the batsman was still getting, boundary and over or 6 or 7 runs. So that match started in a different tempo. And as you said, the magnitude of the score, I think, is the key here. And also that innings tells you, what is the great strength of Tendulkar, that today, in his 21st year as well, that he's firing, is still relevant to his team, in fact, adds great value to test match team, is the fact that he just wants to go on. And I think that is the greatest feature of that innings, is that batsman who had everything, going for him, didn't want to just throw it away. He just wanted to keep going and not give it up.
He'd had a 160 before that, a 175 before that, and sometimes as you get older, it's not easy to keep your stamina over that period of time. So does that make it more remarkable, or is age not a consideration in a 50-over game?
Oh, no, I think it does make it more remarkable. I mean, if you go back to, the very early days of one-day cricket, one-day international cricket, it was 200 was like the 4-minute mile. That barrier will never be reached. But in recent years, with the improvement in the bats and the scoring going up, you started to think, now this might happen. And I think it's appropriate that the guy who really has dominated all the records in batting, that he should be the first to reach 200 in a one-day international. But yes, the fact that, and I think the other thing that makes it more remarkable, as well as his age, is the fact that he had a dip in style. Not so much, there was a dip in the number of runs as well, but there was a dip in style, probably around 2006, 2007, around there. And you thought, this guy, it's a pity, but it's age, and you get more conservative, that we're not now seeing the dashing Tendulkar who just took on bowlers and challenged them. And we're sort of thinking, well, he's got Sehwag to do that and he doesn't need to do it. But then he's suddenly got this second wind and he's playing, not all the time, but just occasionally, he gives us glimpses of that youth again. But tied in with the glimpses of youth are the amazing stamina and fitness that the guy has got at an advanced age. And it's not just his age, it's, as Sanjay mentioned, it's 21 years of playing international cricket. You'd be thinking, there comes a time when you think, you look around the dressing room and you think, why am I still doing this? It's time to give it away. But obviously the love of playing cricket and the love of competition keeps him going. And so that, all of those things make it a more remarkable performance.
He didn't play too many one-day internationals in the year. He's sort of spacing himself out, I thought, preserving himself for the World Cup. Every time he played the one-day international, there seemed to be no warm-up time. I mean, he's played upwards of 400 games, so he knows exactly what to do. So that was one issue. The second, the moment the 4-minute mile was broken, in the next few months, a lot of people did it. Yeah. Do you see this as being a precedent?
I think it's likely to happen. And Virendra Sehwag has already talked about playing the 50 overs, whether it's going to actually then confuse him in his mind and, who knows what the end result would be. But yes, I think you need somebody to do it, and then the others, take it upon themselves as challenge. Javed Miandad was obsessed with the figure of 365, when Gary Sober's got there. So you need somebody to raise the bar and the others to follow. And again, when you talk about fitness of the man, it's not so much about the physical fitness. I think it's here, the desire to just go on. That he batted right through the innings also tells you something about his mental toughness. It's not so much about the body, but the mind driving the body.
I mean, he got 200, but the record he broke belonged to Charles Coventry of Zimbabwe. No disrespect to him. I mean, he did very well to make 194, but it belongs with Tendulkar.
Well, I tell you what, quite a few have broken the 4-minute mile. Not too many will break the 200 barrier. Not many. Some more will, but not many.
Right, so there you are, Sachin Tendulkar, the winner of the ESPNcricinfo Batting Award for the best performance in one-day internationals, a colossal 200.